All right, so I'm in a cemetery here in Galveston, Texas. I'm off of 59th Street. Not quite sure what the name of the cemetery is. It may be Lakeview, something to that effect. There's two cemeteries here, one on each side of the road. And I don't know if they share the same name or not, but a quick story about this place. About 15 years ago, I was down here in Galveston doing some work, and I took a phone call. And I was cutting through right here on 59th Street, heading up to the seawall because I was going to go over and catch the ferry over to Bolivar. And when I was done talking to the guy on the phone, I looked over and I saw a headstone that was broken in half, and it looked like a veteran headstone, but I couldn't tell. So I got out of my truck, I walked over to it, I flipped it up, and lo and behold, definitely was a veteran's headstone. And so, you know, I started cleaning the headstones probably 6-8 months ago, and this cemetery has always kind of been on my mind because of this broken headstone that I saw years ago. And so, you know, I was real curious to get back out here and see, you know, if this headstone was still broken, if somebody had replaced it. It sits right on the side of the road, so I assume somebody had already gotten it fixed, or, you know, maybe that portion of the stone that was broken off was missing. So, you know, I rolled by over here, and I'm shocked, to be honest with you, because here we are 15 years later, and this headstone is basically sitting exactly the way I left it 15 years ago, leaning up here and broken. So I should have did something about it 15 years ago. I didn't. It's in. It belongs to me now, as far as I can tell. That you know, it's going to be left up to me to get it fixed, and that's fine. You know, if I got to come out of my own pocket to get this thing replaced, I will, but I don't think I'm going to have to. I know that there is a process through the VA where you can get these things replaced, even if you're not a family member. So I'm not quite sure exactly what the process is, but I'll keep you all updated as I go along. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to dig down a little bit on this stone, because like I said, it's been sitting here for at least 15 years. I mean, I distinctly remember taking a photograph of this headstone using an old-fashioned BlackBerry with the ball in the middle of it. So I'm gonna try to dig down here and see if there's any other writing on this stone. Let me try to set this thing up here. I don't think that's going to sit there. Hold on, let me get something out of the truck. Set this on. Something to dig this thing up with. All right, here we go. I mean, I'm just shocked that this thing is still sitting here after all this time. There's nothing else on it. All right. So I'm going to get some photos of this headstone right quick, and you know, I'd like to tell you that this is the only broken veteran's headstone in this cemetery, but unfortunately, when I was driving around here a couple of days ago and checking this place out, back here towards the back is another little road where you can kind of cut through the cemetery, and I noticed another one back there. It looked like somebody had probably backed over it, didn't know it was there, and it's broken half. It's been there a long time too, so I'm gonna go over there and take pictures of that one, and I'm gonna do everything I can to try to get that one replaced too. So I'll take you guys over there momentarily and we'll take a look at it. All right, guys, so it took me a while to get around here. And the reason is because I went on a hunt for water. I didn't bring my own water, which was an unfortunate mistake. There's water spigots all over the place around here, but none of the water works here or across the street over here at Lakeview, which is across the road, side of that truck right there. Also no water, so I was able to run across the street. There's another Catholic cemetery over there, and I was able to fill up. So I'm back, but here's the other broken headstone I was telling you about. Milton Dwyer, Texas. It just says core, June 7th, 1934. That's the only information that's on the stone, which is going to make it more difficult. That's unfortunate. Typically when you see headstones like this that don't have that much information on it, they're normally going to be the stones of black U.S. military personnel, typically. And some of the stuff you can see around here, let's kind of walk around. I mean, this cemetery, if you're looking for a cemetery to come out to and clean headstones, this is the place to come. It is just full, absolutely full of U.S. military headstones. It's unbelievable. Kind of walk around here and take a look at a couple of these. Let's walk back here to the back. Here's Robert Waring, South Carolina, Private 24th U.S. Infantry, February 9th, 1934. So no, no when was he born, did he die overseas, there's nothing that says, typically when you'll see these, you'll see like a date somebody was born, the date somebody died, and it will say, Korea or World War II or Vietnam on there, and nothing. You really kind of get nothing out of these, and so it makes it a little bit more difficult if you have one that's broken to get it replaced, but nonetheless, we'll figure it out. So here's one. Willie Granger, Texas, Private, 410th Reserve Labor Battalion. So traditionally, when you see something that says Labor Battalion, these are going to be, in most cases, from everything that I've seen, they're going to be segregated battalions of black U.S. military personnel. And that's kind of, it's a little bit of a disgrace that you don't get more information about who the guy was. When was he born? I don't know why that type of information wasn't placed on these stones. But hey, 1935, we're going to get this guy's stone cleaned up because it deserves to be cleaned up. All of these say 1935 on them. There goes another one. So apparently we can mow, but we can't pick up trash. Well, this is a full Bud Light. Maybe somebody knew this guy and left this here. I don't know. I'm going to leave it just like that. All right, so we're going to walk over here. We're going to take a look at one more, and then we're going to get set up and start cleaning. I mean, here's one that's typically more like it. 1889 to 1936. I really can't read what's going on down on the bottom because the stone is just needs to be cleaned. And we'll get that one too, guaranteed. All right. Here we go. All right, let's wet it down. Now we're not going to be doing anything special here. Same thing you've seen probably a million times online. We're going to be using water, letting it soak. Then we're going to be hitting it with some Orvis soap. Ooh, there's a lot of lichen on here. We're going to be hitting it with some Orvis, and then after that, we're going to treat it with D2. Now, I used to, when I first started, I was just using water and D2. D2 is an expensive product. Probably cost you, I don't know, about $50 to $55 for a gallon, depending on where you get it. And when you use just D2 and water, man, you very quickly... well, there's a serious fog rolling in on us, so I hope it doesn't affect the video here. But when you use just straight D2 and water, you go through it very quickly, and it's an expensive product. So Orvis, I bought that. It was $40, I think, for probably more than I would ever use. And it's a thick product. It's kind of like a ivory dish soap almost. It's a pH neutral soap, and it's real good for doing your initial cleaning. You know, I've watched a lot of these videos online where these guys clean these things and they get like this. I don't know how to describe it. They're just beautiful when they're done. Absolutely beautiful. They look like they belong in Arlington. I have yet to run into a stone that gets that clean for me. I've had to come out multiple times and treat them just with a quick, just spray it down. But after about 6 months, maybe hitting it twice, 3 times when you go out to the cemetery, man, they come back and they're just absolutely beautiful. So this is the Orvis soap. I have it in a pump sprayer. Man, that's some serious fog. Check this out. Look at this. This is literally just blew in on top of me. Right here. That's a trip. Can't even see the buildings back there in the back. Let's set this bad boy back down here. All right. Wow, this stuff is hard. It's just a plastic scraper. It won't hurt anything. Man, this stuff is hard as a rock. It's like concrete up here on top. Unbelievable. I've never seen one like this. There's a lot coming off. Man, nothing's really coming off that. Well, there's a little bit right there. You can see it. All right. Let's get some more soap on here. Oh, it's another Labor Battalion stone. All right, so this stuff that's on here, if you can see this right here, it is super hard. I mean, it literally feels like concrete. It doesn't scrape off. I can't scrape it off with my nail or anything like that. I am going to go start using some D2 here. Typically, I would try to clean it again with Orvis, but the fact remains is that the stuff that's on here is just so hard. Really, the only thing that's going to do or have any real effect on this. I mean, you can see the Orvis did clean the stone. It looks a lot better. You can read Labor Battalion on there, which I couldn't see before. I don't believe I could see it before. But I've used all kinds of different stuff. You know, like I said, I was using just straight D2 before with water, and it did a good job. I've tried to use Wet and Forget, and Wet and Forget had absolutely really no effect at all. It will kill like biological growth on there, lichen and stuff like that. You'll spray it on, and you know, a month later you'll come back and that stuff will be dead. But all of this staining that you see on here, it from what I've seen, I sprayed stuff on 6-8 months ago, and they pretty much look the same way they did when I sprayed them on. So I've kind of moved away from that. D2 is the best. Nothing beats it. So we're going to spray some on here, let it sit for a little bit, and try to scrub some more of this stuff off of here. I've had D2 turn stones orange. I've had them turn stones pink, but that all goes away. After about 2-3 days, you'll come out, and that will all be gone. And the cool thing is, I'm going to come out here and clean all of these veteran headstones. And so you'll be able to see kind of some before and after over the next couple of months and how these turned out. Every time I come out here, I'll hit them with a little bit more D2 just to get them where they need to be. This stone, hopefully, will look like it belongs in Arlington. All right. So it's sat probably good 10 minutes or so, maybe a little bit less. I don't know if you can see this stuff up here, if we can get a good angle on it, but it's super rough. You still got a lot of biological right here. A lot of this stuff is going to come off when we start scrubbing with the D2. You kind of get a close-up of the stuff that's growing on here. It's just a shame that these veteran headstones have been left to the elements with nobody cleaning it. You would think that, you know, the state or the city would at least have somebody that can come out every once in a while and just, what would it take, a day to walk through here with a backpack pump sprayer with D2 in it and spray all of these down? I mean, it's really not something that would cost an awful lot of money. Let's spray a little bit more D2 on here. Let's get the scrubbing. I hate pumping these things. I need to get a battery operated one. So that's it. This is realistically what you're going to find in most cases. You know, you watch these guys do this stuff, they clean them online and they get like this instant gratification. Like I said, I've never encountered that. I've always had to come back and treat 2 or 3 different times. The stone does look far better than it did when I showed up here. You can read it. You can read what battalion he was in. But this stone is going to require treatment probably off and on over the next 3 months. I'll hit this stone probably 3 more times with D2 at least when I come out here and clean these other stones. So I'm going to hit this one more time. You guys will be amazed how these things turn out, even in a week's time. But a month, you come out here and this stone is gonna shine. All right. So we got one thing left. Let me go back over here to my truck. Let's get a flag in here. Make sure this flag doesn't touch the ground. There we go. So that's it. We'll check on this stone over the next couple of weeks and kind of see how it turns out. It will be amazing, believe me. You know what? I'll tell you what I'm gonna do right quick. So this stone right here, it's not in too bad shape. I'm gonna hit it just with some D2 and just let it sit. I've never done this before, just straight D2. And we'll see how this looks. Oh, it's getting all in my eyes. Hold on, put on my glasses. There we go. You can see there's lichen and stuff on here. Oh, this looks pretty bad. We're gonna see how this is gonna turn out. You can see all the growth on here. So just a straight D2 bath, and we'll see how it looks. Sure I didn't miss anything over here, and I did. All right.